Hello and welcome to another update video about Apecoin. I only covered it once so far. I don't want to really do it on a daily basis, but from time to time, because there is a hype around that cryptocurrency, and because I think it's not only a, I don't really want to say the word, coin. There's a little bit more behind it. Yeah, I want to cover it again, and we are going to start with a snippet from the video from the 2nd of May. And I think at some point here on the 4 hour, we're now nearly oversold. We're not oversold yet. Therefore, also we could see a little bit further downside. On the daily, not yet oversold. Also here further downside possible. But for me at the moment, it is looking like that we could hold a trend line, of course. That's currently obviously a guess, yeah. Because to get confirmation that we're back in an uptrend, you need to turn around. We haven't seen any turnaround yet. We're even making here bearish crossover. So the indicators would suggest that we go a little bit lower. And also for me personally, we've now touched the target area, but we have not spent a long time in there. We've only briefly touched it. So I think we should come down a little bit lower. Okay, wonderful. Now let's take a look at what we actually did. Wonderful. So there you can see. What actually happened is we touched the target area, we moved away from it a little bit, came actually deeper into it as expected, moved away from it a little bit more. That is generally, you know, when you have this target area is obviously, it is calculated based on the Fibonacci targets here of that larger wave. You can see that when I take the Fibonacci tool, this target area is between the 88.7 and the 78.6% Fib level. We have reached that. And normally you get some kind of reaction to it. What would have been important to really start an uptrend now, and that is what I said in that video, is that you need to see a reaction and then make a higher low. Now it didn't happen. We made a lower low and came into the target area as expected. We saw in that video, or in that, when I made the video, we saw a bearish crossover starting here on the daily MACD. So all of these, as I said as well, all of these indicators suggesting a little bit lower prices, but yeah, and it happened, right? What I referred to was this trend line here that you can see, this ascending trend line that has so far provided support for Apecoin here throughout. And what I think would be really very important to get confirmation that, or at least get a more clear signal that we can get back into an uptrend from here, because, you know, that the downtrend can continue obviously, but that would be that we at least find support here at $12.44. At the moment, it's getting a bit critical. So as I said, I think we can hold the trend line here. That is what I have to expect, because overall we are still sort of in a in some kind of an uptrend. You make at least higher lows here, but we are also coming down quite a lot. So it is important to understand that the 88.7% Fibonacci level that I have on the chart here, that $12.40 level, if you drop below that, this is actually the very, very last exit on the motorway. Yeah, I would give it one more chance, which is here, that ascending trend line. If it drops below that, then we have to expect much lower prices, and we're going to take a look at that scenario in a minute. So far, I do expect that that line could hold. The problem what we are having here is that impulsive sell-off yesterday. So it's getting critical. I can tell you that, I can warn you. It's getting critical here, because what we do here is we're making higher lows again, and we are having here some kind of a bearish pennant, yeah, or bear flag. So you come down very impulsively and you're consolidating. And the problem is also not only get into the target area, but how do you do that? Yeah, price action is very important. What looked really good was this first move up. So obviously what I said in that video was I would expect us to come down a little bit lower. We did that, came down to below $14. Then what would have been great if the market had used this opportunity here, because we pumped all the way up to $17.71. The nice would have been if from here we would have come down and formed a higher low. But that didn't happen. We actually made a lower low, came deeper into the target area. And the problem I have with that is that we have come down so impulsively. Yeah, so only red candles pretty much. And here it's getting now a bit tough for the price to recover from that easily. Well, what we can draw here is some kind of a, probably a pennant. Here you've got a triangle pattern trend continuation usually, yeah. So usually you would expect it to break to the downside. Of course, it doesn't need to happen. We always want to wait for the breakout. But the key areas that we need to watch out for here on that chart for Ape is the $12.44 level and the $14.17 level. So these are the key levels that are forming that Fibonacci area, yeah, that target area. And if you drop below 12.44, then it's getting quite unlikely that this is actually still a potential breakout scenario here. Yeah, the 88.7 is a critical level. As I said, I would give it one more chance, which is that ascending trend line. But if we lose that, where could we fall to? Well, we are going to take then the Fibonacci levels and start actually from 0. That is what you can do if you drop in that higher level wave count below the 88.7. Because there isn't really one more higher wave count I can go to. I can even draw it, I could even go to that one, to that wave here. But even then here, the ascending trend line would be the 88.7. So, you know, let's go to 0. And let's see what the price could be. But that would really smash that coin. So we could then expect here prices in the region here $3.12 and $5.91. Yeah, that is nothing I would primarily expect now, but this will become the primary as soon as we drop below the ascending trend line. Yeah, so I will make you aware of that, and until that happens, so this is for me critical. Technically, this whole thing here is not invalidated until we really drop below $10, and where are we here? It's actually the 61.8% fib level from that current wave count. So technically, this is not invalidated until we drop below $10.50. So we could still technically have some kind of a breakout as long as we hold above $10.50, but below that, because this is also the 61.8% Fibonacci level, that $5.91 level is getting quite realistic. Yeah, so we should not rule it out, absolutely not. If from here the market now turns around, because we are now in a target area, there's some way to play this, of course, because these are the areas where prices can, with the highest probability, turn around. But bear in mind, we've just made a higher low, a lower low. So I would personally wait now to make any decision. Yeah, because when you just have made a lower low, the problem is that from here there is no guarantee. It's never a guarantee, but the probability that a support level holds shrinks as well, because you're basically back and making lower lows. So what's stopping it from making another lower low? Well, only the next fib level, but if that breaks, then you can actually drop below that ascending trend line here. So at the moment, no bullish signal here. That is what I have to say. It is great that we came as expected into that target area, but what we are waiting for a potential breakout scenario is, of course, a bullish signal. Now, a bullish signal here could be that we break out of the triangle to the upside. Yeah, that is what we have to wait for now. We now have to wait for the market to decide. But at the moment, also on the indicators, yeah, for our chart, bearish crossover. Here, RSI, bearish range. Daily chart, hammering down. Yeah, so no kind of recovery here, or nothing that would tell me that we are slowing down the downtrend here. Even on the RSI, you're heading further down. So at the moment, it's time to be a bit careful here. Yeah. As soon as you see a bullish signal, it could become a breakout, but at the moment, I can't see it. At the moment, it would just purely be a guess. What we have to see is this triangle, and if that triangle, of course, and it currently tries it, breaks to the upside, and we get back here above that Fibonacci level at $14.20, then we can give it another go. But then again, because we have made a lower low, we have another opportunity. So from here, what is a good way of doing it, and that's no financial advice, but that is anybody who wants to be on the safer side, is to wait for the first impulse of the next larger wave. So we're waiting for the first 5-wave move, and then we're waiting for the first correction. So basically this would be another wave 1. This is another wave 2. The wave 2 typically comes down all the way into the region between the 78.6 and the 88.7. So pure guess here now, let's say it goes up to $18. it would then come down into the region again of $13.54 and $14, maybe $15. Yeah, so between that 88.7 and maybe even the 61.8. This would be for a wave 2 a typical retracement area of a beginning uptrend, and this is normally when you have a good confirmation that the uptrend could start. We see here currently the opposite. We currently see a lower low. So, and we don't even see a bullish divergence really on the chart. So maybe on the 1 hour, but not on the daily chart. And all of these things would be important to really get an understanding that we are slowing down the downtrend. So for me, big risk that we drop actually further in, especially if I look at the candlestick pattern engulfing red candles. So anybody who says we are going to start from here, it's purely a guess. Yeah, I have to wait for confirmation. I want to wait for a signal. I don't see a signal yet, and therefore I'm showing you here the alternative as well. And always I try to make you aware about things before they happen. Yeah, so there is risk because of that bearish candlestick, how it closed yesterday, and because we made a lower low. Would have been nice to make a higher low, or alternatively, not necessarily only a higher low, because I did expect it to get further into the target area, but with such an, a strong move down, it's time to, to be a bit careful and just to wait what the market is deciding. Good thing is currently in the current 1 hour candle here, or in that current 1 hour candle, we're actually trying to break out to the upside. That would be good, but now we need to wait for $14.20. And anybody who's here speculating, of course, for a short-term uptrend, and these are always possible, and the breakout pattern is a potential trade setup, then just please use a stop loss, yeah? Because I hear it so many times that people just don't use stop losses. And if you do that, but you are actually in a downtrend still, and you do it without a stop loss, as I said in the last Bitcoin video, it is like driving without a seatbelt. Okay, so hopefully you liked the update. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment, and subscribe. And if you really like the content, then check out the channel membership. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye bye.